Good morning. I'm
Good
Rob
morning,
Pence.
Rob. It's another Wednesday here, and we're back with Thrive with Rob and Jason. Rob, it's good to see you again.
It's good to see you, sir. I thought we were going to start calling the show Old Men in Tech.
Well, hey, I did shave my head, Rob.
I know it's a good look. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not doing any Mr. Clean jokes. I'm not doing any of that kind of stuff. I think it makes you look younger, which is good.
Well, and is like I was talking with my wife on this, and the reason why I shaved my head first off is, Rob, I caught a glimpse at the top of my head, and I looked at my wife and I said, "Why have you been lying to me all this time?" She goes, "What do you mean?" She goes, "Look at this." I'm telling her, "Look at this." She goes, I can't see the top of your head. I'm 6'3", she's 5'5". So I said, "Well, I'm done. I'm just shaving it all off. I'm tired of paying for haircuts." So that's what I did. But yeah, it looks like I lost weight too, which I like.
It does. Well, you did lose weight. So if I shave my head,
yes,
will I look like I lost weight?
Well, let's try it.
That's not. Here's the funny thing. Okay, so seriously, this is. I'm not making this story up. And pastors' kids, we sometimes make stories better than what they are.
Yes.
This is an honest, true story. All my uncles on my mom's side, which is hereditary, where you genetically get your hair growth from. Mm-hmm. All my uncles are bald as billiard balls. They are and they were bald early. Like my grandfather started going bald when he was 30.
Oh, wow.
And so I was obviously a vain 12-year-old. I started praying, and my dad had a sermon about things that were important to you. You'd put in your Bible to pray for. That was in there. Please, God, let me make 50 and not go bald. And that was actually
some prayer. See.
And I did. God answers prayer. He is faithful. I still have this, and I am over 50 now. So I feel good about life. It's funny though, and I actually talked at a men's conference about this. I said, if at 12 I'd have realized all the complications of life, the bald thing would have been way down on the list of daily prayers.
Yes, right.
It would have been like, good stable family life, good stable this, but no, I'm up there with bald. I'm going with bald. That's my thing. And I've done one thing though, and the reason I tell this is because if anybody follows me on television over the last 20 years of my life, they realize that I kind of went through a period there where I didn't color my hair. So like 10 years ago, if you watch, there's some stuff, and there actually was a thing on TV recently where I was on TV, and of course everybody's giving me a hard time. They're sending me pictures now of myself on TV, and I had really cool dark hair. I mean, like really cool, and it looked like amazing. And they said, so as you get older, you get blonder. And I said, yes, that is exactly genetically in our family. That is what happens. The older you get, the blonder you get. I'm going this next summer. I've already decided, the summer of 2025, I'm going for the beach bum look. I'm going to totally. Do you remember we used to frost our tips? Did you do that ever?
Puka shells and the frost
tips.
Yeah,
the puka thing. Oh yeah, I still have my pukas. I'm busting those babies out for next year. So that's life. I may still have my hair, but it isn't the color that it originally was, or what it would be if I were to let it be natural.
Yes, guys, we tend to take care of our hair too, right?
Yes. Hey, it's important. I think here's the thing, and seriously, you and I are big into watching and listening to men and women who are, basically people that talk about success in business. We're big into that kind of stuff. And I was watching a gentleman who I respect completely, and I'm not going to mention his name here because it doesn't fit the story. But he goes, "Hey, listen, the outside as people in business is important." Now I've done some expansion over the last couple of years on my outside, And I'm going to start working on that. Not until I finish the Nutter Butters that I bought yesterday, but little Debbie, she called me. She's like I tell my wife she's my other woman. Little Debbie and I get along really well. Hey, listen, before we get in, we got some great guests today on the show. How's your football team doing?
Better than yours, Rob. Better than yours. Just saying. Not my NFL team. They're looking okay, but my fantasy team is number 1 in my division and number 2 in the league, which is better than yours. I'm just saying. Not that I'm trying to throw you under the bus or anything, but hey.
It's been a rough year. It started off really good. I'm kind of like the Seahawks. I went 3-0, except unlike the Seahawks, I have not been able to pull out of the death spiral that currently is. And I would love to say it's because I don't, but I don't have anything. I mean, I've got Patrick Mahomes. He's my homie. And not this year. Dude's like,
but hey, they did make a trade this morning. I saw for DeAndre Hopkins.
They got D-Hop? Really?
Yes, that just happened this morning.
Wow. And you know what? That would be exciting if it was 10 years ago.
I know, right? Adam Schefter tweeted it out at like 4 a.m. this morning or so. So yeah.
I heard that was going to happen. And you feel for him because seriously, I mean, they've had injury after injury. And there in
a receiver, man. So hopefully he can resurrect his career there. We'll see.
I don't think so. He's old now. Dude's like he's been in the league as long as really probably. Oh man, what is it like 10 years, 11 years for D-Hop?
Mm-hmm.
You know who I liked on their team? Who before the season, seriously, and this is how hardcore I am with football and stuff. They had Hollywood Brown. And I thought Hollywood was going to be amazing. I loved Hollywood when he played for Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. He was a Sooner.
I'm not a huge. Huh? I'm a Texas fan, so see, we're right here. Yeah, and Texas, Oklahoma.
How'd that go last week for you there? How'd that go for you?
Well, at home. Hey, we're gonna come back. We're gonna play them in the SEC title game. We got this.
Sure. Yeah.
Rob, hey.
And did you see how? And for all of you that know, yes, I own a radio station in Alabama, and I love Alabama football for financial reasons. They're awesome for us. But man, did you see the Tide get rolled by Tennessee?
Yeah, again, right? Second loss. They lost to
Vandy.
Mm-hmm, to Vandy.
Oh gosh. You would have thought literally all of my team that works down there and everybody that I know that's in Alabama, you would have thought literally after the Vandy loss that Jesus was coming soon, that like the great horse was waiting at the entry gate. And then of course, and Saban said this, and this is very true. And I've been to media days and everything for Alabama. The game against Tennessee is more important than the Iron Bowl, which is Auburn, Alabama.
Yep, Auburn, Alabama.
And it
is. It's been a big rivalry for a long time. Mm-hmm.
It couldn't happen to a nice Kevin DeBoer. Hey, Kevin, wish you were still in Seattle? Hey, listen, we got a great show today, and we want to tell you some things really quick because that's what we do here at the show. We want you to follow us on X, and there's mine. Do want to, of course, give you the basically disclaimer. Hey, listen, I'm not the same that I am here on X. I get wound up a little tight there, so you may,
especially in the political season. Yes.
If political things are not your jam, you may want to stay away from it. It is not a safe space. There will be no quiet times or anything like that. There's Jason's QR code. You can follow him also on there. There's mine again. Wanted to get those out of the way so you could do that. Hey, Jason, this next guy, he's been a part of our ministry. This is the third time he's been on the show. We kind of like him.
Yeah, Blake Maddox with 365 Christian Men. One of my mentors, one of the most incredible men that I know. With his ministry and what they're doing, bringing stories to life, on the network. Blake, it's great to have you again. I think he's froze right now, Rob.
I think he is. So we're going to take him back off screen.
There we go.
There you are. But Blake, it's great to have you on the show again. We want to bring you on. Give us some updates on the ministry, what you guys are doing with 365 Christian Men. Update us on some things with this, because you are now like one of the most watched shows on our network. When you're the episodes that you're having every single day, they're shown on Abundant TV at 10:30 Eastern in the morning and 6 p.m. Eastern in the evening. About a 5 to 10 minute episode. It's incredible. But update us, Blake.
Yeah, thanks, Jason. Thanks, Rob. I love listening to you guys banter back and forth about fantasy football. I told you guys next year when you start the league, make sure you get me in that. I was looking for one this year, couldn't find one, so make sure you get me in there.
We definitely will.
65 is expanding. We're in over 100 countries now, trying to target the next 90 plus so that we can get all of the countries. We've got relationships with several people in India, in Pakistan, in the Philippines. You know, I just posted this morning on Facebook that the kingdom currency is relationships. Mm-hmm. And if you want to do anything for the glory of the Lord, you've got to do it in the right kind of relationship. So we're focusing on building relationships around the world, meeting new people, and giving these stories away. That's the vision of 365. We create inspirational stories of real people, short ones, so that people can log on, watch, listen, be inspired. And we've been doing that now for a couple of years, and just loving what we're seeing God do.
Awesome. We threw the QR code up there on the screen for people, if they want to check it out, jump to the website. These stories are changing lives all over the world. You guys got to do some really, really cool things in Pakistan, here locally, just everywhere. And hearing, like, as I talk to you and hearing some of these stories that this has changed, how this has changed people's lives, it's incredible. It pulls at my heartstrings, Blake. And I know you guys have some things that you want to do moving forward, because this is all, like I said, you're giving away these stories. So you're wanting to build more stories. You're wanting people to tell their stories. How do people jump in to check that out?
Yeah, great question. I think the two things that we really believe the Lord is leading us to do is create new content, mm-hmm. which of course is very expensive to create. We do these stories, we want to do them well. And then translate these stories into other languages. Most of the people that are consuming this content around the world don't have the resources to translate these stories. So not only are we giving the stories to people around the world, but we're also, when we can, we're paying for the translation work so that people are actually watching these stories in their native language. So everywhere you go that is 365, whether it's on streaming platforms, whether it's on the website or on the app, there is a link there for people to partner with us, to be able to give and partner with us.
Awesome. Yeah, we're definitely looking for more people to partner with 365 as they grow this ministry. Would love to have you be a part of this, a small piece of this, to get this message out of these stories as Blake and the team builds these stories out for more men's stories, but also women's stories as they build out that phase there. So check out that QR code there. Check out the website. Blake, we love having you on.
Jason, thank you. Rob, I appreciate it. I know you guys got a man waiting in the green room. Last thing I'll say real quick.
Sure.
One of the things that we did is we created some worksheets for people. And if you go to the website now, just click on that pop-up, give us your email. We'll send you a worksheet. These things are great for individual studies or for group studies. People are really utilizing those, and they tie in, connect with the story well. So that'd be another great resource for you.
Yeah, just a bunch of free resources there. And I know you and I talked yesterday, Blake, about being able to provide some more things for people. So that's incredible that you have that available. So jump on there, check it out, get those free resources, listen to these stories of past and present men with these stories. And as Blake builds us out, we'll have him on the show more, giving more updates about how these stories are transforming lives. So hey, Blake,
Jason,
thank you.
Jason, before we go any farther, listen, I want to say this, and I love Blake. Blake's heart, I love his ministry. And if you're out there and you're watching this right now, and the QR code is up there, and you're saying, hey, listen, I want, maybe you didn't have the best upbringing. Your father wasn't a father. And this, all these things happen. There's a great way to mentor people via these videos.
Yes.
The men's thing. So if you're out there and you're saying, man, I've been looking for a great cause to give to, this is a great cause. And I don't say that very often. But if you want to hit the QR code, you want to get in contact with Jason, I will make sure you get in contact with Blake. We believe in this ministry so wholeheartedly. Both Jason and I do. Have sat with their board, have been a part of what they're doing and just love on them. And so if you're looking for a place to sow seeds that you believe, because it is the time we live in where men are important parts and kind of a focal point of what is happening in the world around us is talking about where men are. This is a great way to get the word out to not only men here in the United States, but men globally. And we can be a part of something incredible. Hit the QR code. It's right there. And if not, get in contact with Jason and I. And hey, we appreciate you, Blake, so very much.
Guys, thank you. I'm honored to be doing ministry and kingdom relationships. I said just a minute ago, the currency that God uses. I'm grateful to be in relationship with you guys and excited to see what God has for you guys and for us as well.
Amazing. Thank
you,
again,
sir. Hey, that was awesome.
Blake has been with what they're doing with their ministries is incredible. As you know, this is something that I completely believe in. I know you do. Definitely. If there's people watching that want to sow some seeds, help bring these stories to other men, to other families across the world, jump in there, check that out. But you know what, the next guest that we have, Rob, I can see him having a story with 365 with what his story is. He's also a second time guest that we had. We had him a few weeks ago, and I said we had to get him back on because his stories was amazing. And we didn't even get into the business aspect of this.
That's it. And truly a fun guy, cool to hang out with, a gentleman that orders way more food. Here's my introduction to this guy. I love him. He orders way more food. So we sit down. We go into a restaurant. So I got to tell this story
about this. Yeah.
I thought of this. So we go into a restaurant. It's Jason and Kristen and I, and we had just shot a video for Ignite Christian Business. We walk into this restaurant that basically is like a ghost town. They're sitting in the corner by himself with enough food to feed 50 people as our next guest. And then he shares with Jason. Now, I didn't know Jason, had a friendship already.
Yeah.
So Jason's over there eating like half of his food. After I'd ordered Jason food, he's over there eating all of this gentleman's food. Please welcome. Oh, hey, Bryce, how you doing, buddy? Do you remember that? Or am I the only one that have memory of this story?
It's amazing how our memories our brain works and the things that we remember, because I've long forgot that because it's just something natural that I do. But
exactly, bro.
Yeah, it's like,
well,
I expect people to show up and come into my energy, come into my space. And so I always make sure I have extra because I'm going to sit them down and I'm going to talk to them. And this was no different. You know, you guys came in and I was like, hey, come on over. And
I felt guilty because I'm like, I really wanted, he had like some hors d'oeuvres. And I was like, I'm not going to be that guy that comes and mooches off of his table. But oh no, over here is Jason. And he's like eating half of his food. I'm like looking at him like, dude, really? And he's like, Jason's like, oh, because you had something with hamburger. You had like it was a pizza. I can't remember what it was.
Like a cheeseburger pizza, wasn't it, or something?
Cheeseburger pizza, yes.
See, I even remember what it was. And then we were introduced.
The waitress told me to try this, or this. And I'm like, why not all of it? Because then I can take extras back to my hotel room, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, which we never eat. I mean, to be honest, everybody on this call travels a lot. Do you ever eat the food you take back to your hotel room?
I mean, no. But I always do take it back. And
I do too, because I feel guilty if I don't.
Take a bite or two, maybe, but
yeah. Hey, but we were introduced to cheese curds with caramel. Remember?
Yes,
dude, that was different. That was different. That was some funnel cake action. It was weird, but it was good.
I believe that different is better than better. So,
but Bryce, it is great to have you back on the show, brother. You're one of my favorite people, as you know this. I had to get you back on after your story a couple weeks ago. Today, I want to talk about business, man, because we got into your story, and there's more to get into that. We could talk hours on this stuff, brother, but I want to talk about what you're doing for business. So I'll let you take the reins there with what you have going on.
Gosh, what do I got going on? You know, I've been in the real estate space for the last 12 and a half, 13 years, almost 15 years. And excuse me, I had, if you go back and watch the first episode, you'll hear the series of unfortunate events. And, I didn't start with money. I wasn't raised with money. I made a lot of money, You're right. If you listen to my story, I've made a lot of money, but I also lost everything. And I started my real estate venture, Jason, in the backseat of my car, right? Looking for a job, 1-bedroom apartment, shortly thereafter through, my coming to Jesus moment.
Mhm.
And gosh, I was at a computer at the library and I remember I was applying for jobs and I watched a YouTube video. I don't know, I got distracted or what happened. And next thing you know, 2 or 3 videos later, I'm like, these guys are making money with no money of their own. They're using other people's money. And so I kind of went down the rabbit hole. I think the difference, Jason, between guys like us and everybody else is I know when to say when. And what I mean by that is I know when to stop myself and actually put things into motion. So I want to challenge you, if you're watching this or you're listening to this and you've got a dream or an aspiration, like at some point you've just got to take action. You've just got to step into that next role and get out of the boat. And my journey is no different. I made tens of millions of dollars in the private consulting sector. And when I found real estate, I'm like, I've got a process. I know how to do business. And that's what I did. I took that process, put it into action, and the rest is history. You fast forward now, I've built and sold a couple of 7 and 8 figure real estate portfolios. And more recently, we're doing what's called wholesaling or fixing and flipping. We are essentially helping people out of tough situations. If you're divorced or you've inherited a property that maybe grandma passed away and left to you and you just can't afford it. Maybe you're in foreclosure or pre-foreclosure, tax liens, things like that, where a lot of people, the majority of people in the general public, probably just don't know how to handle that situation. We know how to find those types of people. We find them, and then we solve their problem. We give them cash for their home. If it's not a deal for us, we've got a pool of buyers and investors that we partnered with, and we do what's called an assignment, where we contract the house for one price and what it's worth based on returns and rehab that's needed. And then we sell the contract. We sell the paper to the investor that wouldn't normally know how to find these types of deals for a fee. And then outside of that, we also fix and flip. We're averaging, between 35 and 45 closings a month right now. We've got a small, lean team of 5 people, and we do it completely virtual. And when I say completely virtual, I mean, I don't leave this office. And yet in the last year, I have closed and funded, we're sitting right at 155 properties in the last 12 months. And so just super, super blessed, super, super blessed.
Hey man, can I ask you a question? And
Yeah.
you may not have the answer for this, and that's okay. You're hearing a lot more about corporate purchasing of residential homes.
Yeah.
And are you seeing that in your world now? Are you starting to see where people are as corporations are buying residentials for rental?
Yes and yes. There's big corporate like BlackRock, Blue Rock,
Yep,
Easy
BlackRock.
Street, they're consistently buying up property, buying up land, developing things like that. Right. But I'm also seeing more and more, especially since the pandemic, where we all kind of got trapped in our house against our will and people, wanted to do something different. Seeing more and more educated consumers forming small businesses and forming trust and things like that are also buying into, to answer the same question, yes, right. They're buying into small companies. They're buying into, family trust and restructuring the way that their finances look. So yes and yes, big companies as well as small mom and pop family trust. Absolutely.
See, and I think that's super smart. So if you've got a group of your friends, and as you and I both know, real estate's never going to go down.
Right.
You're going to have fluctuations in the market, obviously. and we all do. People point to different things that have happened. But reality is real estate is a pretty stable investment. So I love your idea. So maybe grab a bunch of friends like you do for an investment club and do real estate investing. I think that's neat. Could you help people with that if they wanted to do that or get into that?
Yeah, I think that I've done a good job of creating some systems and processes in place that are easily duplicatable. Before this last new business venture with 5 Hour Home Buyers, I took some time off and spent it with family after I made an exit from a company, and that company was doing the same thing. So I took our SOPs and I created a training program, and I have successfully trained tens of thousands of students with 100% success rate as well. And there's not many coaches that can say that. And how we measured success was, if you gave me 100 grand, I would make sure that within our 12 months or 9 months, whatever program it was that you were a part of, that you had doubled that investment. So I've had 100% success rate. I'm proud to say that, because the people that have invested in themselves as well as into our curriculum and process, they've gotten their money back. Plus they've gotten their money back. So absolutely, I can teach people that.
Love it, Bryce. Man, sorry, I lost everything on my internet here. Just everything collapsed. So I'm doing this by my phone to finish this out, brother. But man, with what you're doing with real estate, I've had some real estate background. We've talked about that. I love what you're doing with this. People can jump in if they've ever thought about doing this stuff. Check out 5 Hour Home Buyers right here. Stuff what's going on.
Okay, he's having all kinds of problems. We're gonna move.
It was a great question, Rob. It was a great question.
It was. It was going to be awesome.
It was going to be so good. It was the best.
Have you on again, ever. Bryce? Here's what we're gonna do. We'll have to have you on again. We'll do that because I don't know how he was going to end that question, but I love your story, man. I truly, I've gotten a chance to know Bryce even after the whole situation with
all the food,
and true great heart for God, and that's what I love about him. And truly, there's the website that we were talking about. You can QR code it right there. And Jason so desperately wants to come back that he's trying one more time. We're gonna call Jason the little engine that could.
Man, usually it's your internet, Rob.
No,
I don't know what's happening.
I know. Yeah, it's not working for poor Jason. Goodbye, Jason. You are the weakest link.
You're fired.
Yes, exactly. But no, I want to share the of course Jason's got that site up for you, and you have so many cool things going on in your life. And people can find you on social media too, right? You're on social media. You're on all the platforms that we don't have that here. And maybe next time, I would love. Here's what I want to do. And we only have like a minute and a half left, or less than that. I want you to just, if there's somebody out there that is hurting, and I'm sure there is that's watching this, give them the 30-second hope speech. Tell them that, because you were there, man. I mean, you were in your car with your gun. Give them the reason why they need to carry on. Give me 30 seconds on that.
Yeah. The reason is that Jesus loves you, and I love you. If you're watching this or you're listening to this, you may not know who I am, but you might not have heard the words "I love you" in a long time, and maybe you need a hug, right? If I could do that, I would do that. But at the end of the day, this isn't about me. This is about you. And I want to encourage you in Luke chapter 4, verses 5, where Jesus is taken up on the mountain. Satan looks at Jesus and he says, if you just bow down to me, if you just give up, I'll give you everything that your heart's desire, everything that you see, because it's been given unto me. And I want to challenge you to think, wait a minute, hold up. Who gave it to him to give it away? And you and I do that every day. When we think that we're less than, when we think that we're not worthy, when we think that we're not pretty or good looking or business savvy enough to do the next thing, the fear, doubt, and loathing that we allow our minds and brains to think, and it's not your fault, by the way. Our brains are designed to protect ourselves. You know, you touch a hot pot, you don't ever do it again, right? As a kid, you don't do it again. Why? Because your brain tells you that that's hot and it wants to protect you, so you don't do it again. Notice the negative. You don't. And so when we feel like we're hurt, we feel like our feelings are hurt, our emotions are hurt, our bank accounts hurt, we don't do the things that we should, and we put these walls and barriers up. But I know a God that created this universe, and I've met him personally, not including the accounts of thousands of people that witnessed this man walk the earth and have wrote about it in other historical documents, even outside of the Bible, and most religions validate this. He came to this earth and he created this earth, and he told us in Genesis, in the very beginning of time, that he has given us everything to be fruitful, to multiply, and run dominion. That doesn't mean you have to be the best, but it does mean that you have to do your best in excellence, and he will multiply that fruit. And so if you're down and you're stressed and you're depressed, I want to lean in and encourage you to trust Jesus.
That's it.
Even if it's just a little bit. Even if it's just a little bit.
Hey, buddy, appreciate you so much. Yeah. If Jason were here, he'd tell you the same thing. Go out and thrive.